sound like one of our automobiles.
This is not one of our automobiles, but I kind of wish it was. I borrowed a car for this video. Tom and I were like, we should do a car that we know nothing about. That would be a great video. And since neither of us have ever owned any Volkswagen, I was like, let's get a Volkswagen Rabbit. And I was like, well, let's not just get any old Rabbit. Let's get the best Rabbit. Let's get a GTI. So we did. This is a 1984 Volkswagen GTI. Many say the original hot hatch, as in the original performance hatchback. And I've really been enjoying driving it this weekend. I kind of don't want to give it back. Let's take a walk around this thing. Look at that shape. Is there anything more 80s than this many boxes?
It is pretty hard to deny that shape is 80s.
So hatchback, if you didn't know, is a car that doesn't have a trunk, right? Like the whole back hatch is a door, and it just opens up, and then you can get right into that cargo area. Usually the seats fold down, so it's really quite a useful design, and I'm surprised that we didn't have more of them in the States. It was like very popular in European cars, which obviously the Volkswagen is. Now my Volkswagen history is pretty lousy, but the Volkswagen Golf, which this is, only it was called the Rabbit in the States, came out I think in '76, and then this is a GTI, which is like a second generation Golf, but a first generation Rabbit GTI, so the first generation GTI in the States. Feel free to correct me in the comments because, as I said, I know nothing about this car. Just making it up. One of the things that I love about this particular car is the color silver. First of all, this is in really good shape. I mean, this is an elderly automobile at this point, and it looks great. And this silver is just so fine. The metallic on it is so pretty. It almost looks like a DeLorean, like it's bare metal. The Germans know their silver metallics.
I like the styling of the molding on the sides. It's exactly the kind of molding you should have. Very simple, straight, and black. And it has a secondary lower molding, which is also quite appealing to me. Of course, no one else is going to like that, but I like it.
If you didn't already know this from watching every other video, Tom really likes side molding. I think it does look good on this car though. Got your big back window. You can see my pillow probably in there for sitting on, because even in this tiny car, I cannot reach the clutch without a pillow. Here is the Rabbit, which is such a good car name. And like I said, this was called the Golf over in Europe, but then they thought like, oh, Golf sounds too fancy for like a entry-level young person's car in the States, so they decided to call it the Rabbit. I don't know, marketing stuff.
Is the GTI the high performance one?
It sure is.
Like the Jackrabbit as opposed to the Cottontail?
It sure is. That is exactly what it is, and it makes an amazing 100 horsepower out of its 1.8 liter engine.
Is it really 100?
I think it's 100. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That might not sound all that impressive to you, but as somebody who I was talking to who was like remembering his teen memories of having a GTI, he said it was real fast compared to a 10-speed Schwinn. Also, this car weighs like 2,000 pounds, so it does move pretty good with 100 horses.
And you can drive it backwards because it's got a windshield wiper on the back.
This is quite useful. I wish I had a car that had a rear wiper. These lights are some of my favorite tail lights. Just in general, this kind of like video game configuration. I think like a Porsche 944 has similar lights. And actually, our 78 Monaco lights are not that different from this either. And they are European influence, so there you go. Look at his little tiny wheels.
Are they 14s or 13s?
I think they're 14s.
Oh yeah, they're 14s. These are the big ones. Jackrabbit rubber.
Want me to open the hood for you?
Sure. Well, yeah. Let's do that. Let's see what's underneath the hood here. I'm going to guess that it's an opposed 4-cylinder boxer, air cooled, right?
Are you ready?
It's probably not that would be my guess from that reaction. I don't even know. Do we know how to open this?
Yeah, there's just a little handle in there. I gotcha.
All right.
This was actually like a pretty radical redesign if you think about the fact that the car that it was replacing was the Volkswagen Beetle. I mean, that's like the complete opposite, basically.
Wow, look at the technology here. I don't even know what I'm looking at exactly.
Yes, you do.
It's got some type of mechanical fuel injection, it looks like. That's a fuel distributor. Each line would go to a cylinder. Pretty sophisticated for 84 though. I mean, most cars still had carburetors in 84. It's got struts, a very modern feature of most front-wheel drive cars. Is it a stick shift or automatic?
Oh, it's a stick. It's a 5-speed. And it's actually a really nice transmission. Like, it's really easy to shift. It's got a nice clutch. You can understand why so many people kind of fell in love with driving on these cars, because it's pretty fun to drive and it's not very hard. Should we drive it?
Yeah, we should do that. What is this? Look at that. Look at that technology right there. It's a micro switch. I'm sure somebody who's an expert on these would know exactly what that is.
I'm sure they'll tell you.
But yeah, look at that. All right, well, let's take it for a drive because the sound of it is pretty cool. And that hood just screams, "I will save you in a crash." Like, that is crash protection right there. Well, we didn't cover the interior, but we're gonna do that right now.
Yeah, before I put my pillow in, let's just admire this interior for a second.
Can you see how red is it coming? I don't know if it's coming across as red as it actually is in person, but this is really a red interior. Like, there's the gauges. It's a pretty cool layout. The steering wheel seems huge, doesn't it? For a little car?
It doesn't have power steering, so I kind of need it.
It does have, what does this do? Oh, look at that. Open air motoring.
Hi. Oh, let me show them the interior from this angle. It's great. Look at that. I love it.
Deluxe. And it's got the system here, the Craig cassette player, which is probably not stock. I don't know if they came with these. Let me wind up the roof before it starts raining here. I like the fact that this is a hand crank and not some type of electrical device.
So I have an interesting fact about the interior in the Volkswagen Golf, which is that Volkswagen's first female interior designer was in charge of the Golf and the GTI, and she came up with, the earlier versions have this plaid interior that is carried through all of the Volkswagen since then, and she came up with that design and all of the like amazing colors you could get it in. I mean, you could get it in like yellow and green and like red and blue, and she also came up with this, the dimpled golf ball shifter ball. How brilliant is that?
Funny. Yeah, golf. I get it.
It's very
now.
funny.
That's a funny joke I did not get until just now. I like it. Got some gauges too for spirited motoring. All right, well, let's here, I'll give the glove box tour.
While you do that, I will
look at that.
Put my driving seat insert into place.
Ah!
See, the seat would actually go up far enough, only the latch on the seat is broken, so.
Look, it's got map pockets, but no map.
It's all right. Where we're going, we don't need maps.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
Oh, I might need the key.
We have no key.
It's a cool key.
Yeah, not a fob. It's an actual key, which I appreciate. A secondary attempt.
How come cars always know?
And they know when they're on camera.
Yeah.
Volkswagen, I apologize for this error in operation. In its defense, the car is cold, you know. I'm just doing what we can. This is 1984. This is how it was back then. All right. Holy moly, jeez.
It's so little.
Already getting car sick. Sorry for the rough ride, guys. I'm trying to give you the best possible view with this camera, but the driver's herky-jerky.
It's hurtful. That was a very smooth shift.
actually, it's fairly responsive. I wouldn't say it's slow.
No, it's what happens when you get 100 horsepower and almost no weight.
I don't think the muffler is stock. I don't think they were this loud. Want you to race around town all the time, right?
That's true. I just want to like wind it out everywhere I go. Anyway, I can see why people like these cars. You know, they're.
It is funny to be in it because everything is very angular. There's like no rounded edges. And it's great fun. So sorry for the shaky camera work, but my driver is quite all over the place.
I have been smooth as butter. I've been like Sterling Moss in this car.
Sterling Moss. All right, there you go, guys. The 1984 Volkswagen Rabbit Edition GTI. It is no cottontail.